This race is very underrated. They've been doing it for 13 years. It's the Texas Desert Race Association. And I went to it last year to go help out Dana and Peanut just as a pit. And I was like, man, this was like fun. It's 3 hours, I think, from the shop. It's close. Wasn't very expensive to race. There wasn't, there's no purse or anything on it. So, but it was a nice place to go just shake the car down, get the seat time. That's one thing that we haven't been able to do for, parts issues or whatever, is to go get seat time in between races. So this was a way to go do that with not a lot to lose. And I went with the mindset that when we packed up, I wasn't gonna take a lot of spares. If we had any issues with the car, we were just gonna pack it up. And we did have some issues, but they were fixable. But if we had major issues with the motor or whatever, we weren't out a whole lot of money just to go to a close race. Qualifying went great. We ran the track we actually got to do one sight lap on qualifying. So right before we qualified, which was kind of cool because it was different because we got to warm the car up. We got to run it at speed on the sight lap. So the car was warmed up, shocks were warmed up, I was warmed up, so was Brad. And we qualified towards the first part of it and took off still hot, I guess you could say. You started a lot of these races, you're sitting there for a long time. I'm cold, I got to warm up just like the car. So that was a benefit on our side. And took off, left a little bit of time on the track because we had gotten some warning from the other guys that there was some rough sections. They were in solid axle cars, and I slowed up a little too much going through that section where we could have probably carried about another 15 miles an hour. But came out on top in the cars. We beat the trophy trucks. The dash did light up like a Christmas tree coming through the finish line. Transmission was hot, oil was hot. And in that we found out we lost 2 fans. But we were able to piece them together, get the fans replaced for the race. Actually, we got it to where we could go qualify, or pre-run after we qualified. And we got the right skid plate for the race. So the car felt great. We set it right back to where we did at King of the Hammers when we did all the shock tuning with Wayne Israelson, who is a magician with shocks. Made that car faster in the desert than ever. So I had taken notes at Hammers, how we had the car set. We set it right back up exactly, same tire pressure, same everything, and it was spot on. We did get the pole position, which I'm not used to, and at the last minute, there was one UTV that got a faster time than I did, but they were gonna start the UTVs from the back. And so I was gonna get first off the line, have the clean air. The last minute, the UTV guys revolted because they didn't want to chase the cars like the buggies and stuff, which honestly, I don't blame them. So that meant I wasn't first off the line. I had a UTV go off in front of me. We caught that first UTV in the dust in 3 miles. But because of the dust, I could not get around him. So we chased him for 27 miles. He had pulled off into pit and I was able to get around him. And then that's when I realized why Paul Wolf and Lauren Healy and all these guys, they like the pole position so much because there's clean air. It was amazing the next 2 laps, getting to run with no dust. And we had a trophy truck on our butt the whole time, which was fun. Which he was hitting top speeds in the 115s. We were in the mid 90s. So it was a cat and mouse tight race where I would get him in the tight technical spots and then he would catch me and Brad in the straightaways. But we kept seeing him in the mirror and we're like, you're gonna have to earn it. You're gonna have to get on my bumper. I'm not gonna give it to you. But made us faster. To be honest, I'm not used to running in the front. It's a little bit different being the target instead of the arrow. And so it was a nice change. It was a nice experience. And for the next 2 laps, we got to run in clean air. Then about the time the sun started going down, we started catching lap traffic and the trophy truck got around us on the 3rd lap when we stopped for fuel. And by the end of the 4 hour and 14 minutes, I think it took us to do the 178 miles, he only beat us by 6 minutes. So I think that's a testament to our guys, our partners, our sponsors on how well this car is starting to perform. Things are starting to come together. We didn't have a single flat from the Maxxis tires. Vision wheels did amazing keeping everything rolling, no pun intended. Didn't really have any issues with the car. I did break the antenna off, the radio antenna, and it bounced around the top of the engine. And so I had a little bit of some misfires on the engine on lap 2, but it cleared up, and the car ran great. Actually, the car was running better when we finished than when we started, which I can't explain that. Coming here and being able to just run the car hard, and one thing I noticed when I was in the car racing is I was very comfortable in the car. My heart rate was low, I was breathing normal, and that is telling because I was relaxed. And that means I wasn't stressed out or thinking about things in the past, and it helps you get out of your mind. And that was the biggest takeaway for me personally. I think as for a team, it shows that we can go do it. It was a different type of racing, different set of racers, but I mean, hell, we ran with the trophy trucks, and we're an Ultra 4 car. We're supposed to be rock donkeys, and we went against some pretty good guys. So that was pretty big. I'd like to keep that momentum going and get some podiums on some of the other races, and outrun the Campbells and Healy and Vaughn and all of those guys. I now know what being in clean air means. You get a lot faster doing that than being in the dust.